there would be a lot of hands-on activities for the students so they can like be more involved. And I would definitely like the students to have like games for the subject that they are learning, because I definitely, for me personally, I find it very helpful when there are games, even though, like, for learning, not just like fun games. But sometimes giving the kids a break from learning is nice. I would definitely have the kids be very comfortable with the teacher. I would make sure that they would be comfortable with the teacher and that they would be able to learn in that setting. Because some students need different accommodations for their ADHD. But since I am very I don't have attention at all. I'm really bad at having good attention, and I also am super hyperactive. So them both are very, very strong in me. So a lot of this stuff is based off of personal experience for why I would have a lot of this stuff. I would definitely have I would have little breaks. So I would give the students 30 minutes, and then after 30 minutes of learning, I would give them like a 5-minute break, because I have a lot of trouble with staying in a class for a full hour, and that's always very difficult for me. So a lot of times I actually have to like leave the classroom like I go get a drink of water or have to go to the bathroom, but like it's just so I can have a break a little bit, because it's gets really difficult to actually pay attention for that long. I would also definitely have the teachers know what ADHD is and know all about it, and so they could actually help the students like overcome some stuff and help. I would also teach the students tools to like help overcome their ADHD, so when they go into the normal world that they would actually be able to know ways to deal with ADHD and what to do when they are in a situation that they are having a mental breakdown and they don't know what to do. And also teach them the positives about having ADHD, like hyperfocus and stuff like that. I would definitely want them to know that, and I would want to teach them that they do have certain rights for since they do have ADHD, they do have rights in school that they can use to their to help them, because I don't think a lot of students know that, and I feel like students with ADHD do need to be more educated about that, because it is very, very difficult, and people really don't really know that. People know, at least for me, I knew that I had rights for my dyslexia, but I did not know I had rights for my ADHD as well. So I feel like people need to be more aware of that and be more aware of how to deal with ADHD, because I definitely know that's a struggle for me. I've learned so much about my dyslexia and how to deal with my dyslexia and tools to like help with my dyslexia, but I have never really learned tools to help with my ADHD. My old school was based around dyslexia, and so they also did, like, since a lot of people with dyslexia also have ADHD, there's a lot of people pieced around it that they have tools for ADHD, but they're not taught as tools for ADHD. They're more taught for dyslexia, or like just because they're fun. So I feel like school should actually be like, this is to help with ADHD, this is why this will help. Because my old school had the wobble seat, and they also had the yoga ball chair, so that was always helpful for me. But it's difficult because I didn't understand why they had it. I thought it was just like a fun thing to have, and it was a privilege to actually be able to sit in there. So it would have been very nice to know that it was actually for ADHD. I really like how like there are so many tools out there for ADHD, but I love a lot of fidget toys, but there's one fidget toy I do not like at all. It's the fidget spinner. I think it is more distracting than it is helpful. This is just based off of purely my opinion. It could be, like, other people could definitely have a completely different opinion, but for my opinion, I think fidget spinners do not help at all, and that they are just more of a distractant than it is a tool to help. But the fidget cube is one of the things that I absolutely love, and I would give one to every ADHD child, because it really does help, for at least for me. This is all based off of my opinion, so a lot of this stuff I do not have other people's opinion. I have had my friends use the fidget cube and some of my other fidget toys, and they do really like it, and it does help with stress and anxiety also, so that's very helpful. There are a lot of different things I would put in an ADHD classroom. It's just hard to hit everything because there are so many different things to help. I would probably have the kids in a uniform because it is helpful to not have to pick out an outfit every morning and to just be in a uniform, and so that they won't get distracted by other people's clothing. Like if they have something shiny on it, I know if someone had something shiny on their shirt, I would get distracted by that a lot, especially if there were reflections of it, like on the table or something, or on the wall. So I would definitely have a uniform that's kind of plain, but I wouldn't have super duper strict rules for the uniform. Like, I would have pretty strict rules, but I wouldn't have them overwhelmed with the uniform. And I would want the uniform to be comfortable, and so the students would be relaxed, and so it wouldn't be like a pain in the butt for them to have to wear a uniform. I personally love a uniform. I know there are so many people out there who absolutely hate their uniform, but I personally love having to wear a uniform. ADHD is a struggle. I deal with it all the time. You've probably seen multiple ways that I have been, like, I'm not keeping eye contact. I keep looking all over the place. If I keep moving my shoulders because I'm moving my hands. I keep touching my face and stuff. And I definitely know that ADHD does affect my life. I do take ADHD medication, but even taking ADHD medication, that does not 100% help. I have never had something that 100% helped my ADHD. I have tried so many different medications, and they help a little, but they don't help 100%. There's no miracle pill. There's nothing that's just gonna make my ADHD go away. It's always gonna be with me, and I can't really get away from it. There are a lot of people who don't like the ADHD medication, and that they can't really take it because it makes them feel certain ways. But there are different ADHD medications out there, and there are different kinds that help different ways. Second of all, You don't have to take ADHD medication. There are different things that they can do other than taking medication. There are a lot of tools out there to help someone with ADHD. You just need to kind of find the tools. I found quite a few, but there are a lot more tools out there to help. And I think a part of not knowing what to do is lack of education with ADHD, and lack of education that, like, ADHD isn't dyslexia. ADHD is completely different, but everyone puts ADHD and dyslexia together. But someone could just have ADHD and not have dyslexia. So I find that quite irritating that people put ADHD and dyslexia together rather than having it separated, because they do completely different things. ADHD is definitely something hard to deal with, but it is also very cool to have it. There are a lot of different things that people with ADHD could do that people with ADHD could not. People without ADHD couldn't do that as much as we do. I get distracted so easily, but being able to get distracted easily also makes me more creative, and it makes my one half of my brain work better than the other half. I'm not positive which side it is. I forget. There's ADHD. But I know that, and there are definitely different things for different people though. So I think my ADHD classroom could help some people, but it wouldn't help everybody. It depends what kind of ADHD you do have, because there's a lot of different things to, like, for children to do to be able to be helped, or that some things could actually hurt them rather than help them. So this is just, a lot of this is based off of my opinion, like, mostly my opinion, because this was designed more for how I would want a classroom to be, like, based around, and how I would want, like, the school to work. I would definitely have different breaks for the students, and so they could get a breather and take a break and to, like, be, like, calm down. I wouldn't want really to, like, hurt the students', like, self-confidence or anything, and I don't really know how to do that with trying to help the student focus, because there is always going to be a little damage done to their self-confidence with having ADHD, because people outside of the school wouldn't understand, and they don't know that there are certain things that will actually hurt them a lot more than help them. There's a lot of different things that I would definitely wish I could put in the classroom, but they also wouldn't really help and wouldn't be the best, because it's also, like, there's a lot of stuff that would be difficult for an ADHD student to actually know, like, and for an ADHD student to not get distracted at all. There would have to be zero distractions. There would have to be zero, like, things to, like, get them off task. It's really hard to do that, because there's always something. There is always, like, a piece of paper that's loose. There's always, like, a different color on the wall. There's always a little spot. There's always something that can distract a kid. There's also their brain that, like, they think about 100 different things when they need to be focusing on one thing.